You're listening to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Each week, I'm going to be interviewing top realtors from coast to coast to give you a backstage pass on how they've created their amazing real estate empires and how you can copy them. Hi, everyone. This is real estate coach Craig Proctor, and welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. All the way from Greenwood, South Carolina, we have our superstar, Keller Lawrence, with us today. Keller, how you doing?
Better than good, as Todd says, right?
Yes, Killer Keller Lawrence. For those of you in South Carolina, you know he's the legend. He's the man. He's been with me now for over a good 10 years anyway.
Close to 20, probably.
Close to 20. God, that makes us old, my man.
I know.
So today we're going to talk about getting listings. Keller and I we're talking about the rule changes that are coming up here in August. It was July, now it's August. And as you all know, starting in August, you cannot go out and show buyers houses without a buyer contract signed that specifies exactly how you're going to get paid. So big change, right, Keller? You're able to take them out and show them houses and schmooze them and take them for lunch. And so this is why we're going to talk about listings today, because getting the listings has always been important, but now it's going to be even more important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what we're going to talk with Keller about today is how he is a massive listing agent. And if you are an agent in South Carolina, and Keller will talk about the marketplace he serves, quite a large area there, you do want to listen up, because you probably want to partner up with Keller Lawrence here at some point, because he actually gives the agents that work with him listing appointments and buyer appointments, which, you know, Keller, for a lot of agents, it's hard for them to accept that. It's like, well, why would he give away listing appointments and buyer appointments? Why wouldn't he just go out and do it himself? And the answer is you couldn't possibly go out on all the appointments and work with all the buyers and sellers.
Absolutely. I learned that from you a long time ago, that my time is better spent on generating the leads, working on the marketing, cherry picking the leads, and setting and setting appointments for my agents to go on. You know, in
Rainmaker. Yeah.
Rainmaker.
So you know, when I got into the business, Keller got in the business, we did it all, just like all of you watching this right now. We did everything from getting the keys cut to taking the pictures, working with the buyers and sellers. But I think you guys would agree there's a pecking order to this, and certain activities will make you more money than other activities. So as you move up the totem pole here, so to speak, what you're doing is you're replacing lower income activities with higher income activities. And what Keller's saying is he can make more money working on the marketing, working on the business, recruiting agents to his company and training those agents. He can make more money doing that than going out on listing appointments or buyer appointments. But that's good news for all of you in South Carolina that are interested in making more money and working less, because you literally would be fed listing appointments and buyer appointments. So we'll talk more about that. But this is what Craig Proctor teams do all over the country. First, the agents come to me, they're a solo agent, then they grow their team. And then many of them start their own brokerage, they start their own company. And if you want to be super successful, you need to understand how to leverage yourself. The great thing about this is you can make more money and you can have a life. And on that note, Keller, you were saying over the long weekend, you went out to California, had a great time. This kind of stuff wasn't really possible for you back in the day when you were your business, right?
Absolutely not. Yeah, I had to do all the doing and go on the appointments and not take as much time off. I mean, at the same time I was out there skiing and biking and playing with my buddy, the agents in my office are going on appointments and meeting people.
Nice. And that's what we all want.
Appointments are being set.
Yeah, appointments are being set. So when you're out in California with a long weekend, listings are being taken, buyers are being shown properties, the business continues. And I want everyone to think about, number one, that's great because you get to have a life, but the other thing is you get to make a lot more money when it doesn't depend on you. You probably remember me saying this to you for the very first time, Keller. How many homes could you sell if it didn't depend on you?
Mhm. Yeah, I've
And
heard you
now
say
you
that
have,
many
yeah,
times.
yeah, and now you've got that, right? You've got this business that can grow exponentially because it doesn't depend on your presence. You can have a life outside your real estate business. Now,
Right.
this not only works for you, the owner of the company, but this system works for everyone on your team, everyone in your brokerage, because they all end up making more money and working less hours as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they don't have to, they're not saddled with the marketing expenses and they're not paying for all the administrative people. So if I was an agent on your team, I would open up my day timer and your team would fill my day timer with listing appointments and buyer appointments. And so I don't have to be bothered about how the appointments get there, all the money you spend on marketing and advertising to get sellers to call into the office and say, I want to list my house. I don't have to worry about banging the sign on the lawn, getting the keys cut, taking the pictures. All I got to do is just list houses, go from appointment to appointment to appointment. So if you guys like that, some of you want to be the broker owner and some of you would like to be part of an organization like this where you get to keep all the money and you're just fed listing appointments and buyer appointments, and all the things that we don't like to do are delegated to administrative people, right? So you get to
Yeah.
do what you love all day long.
Yeah,
Now,
no cold calling, no prospecting and all of that. You don't have to do all that.
okay, so now what we're going to talk about is how does Keller Lawrence get all these listings? Okay, so before we got started here, I said, okay, our topic is how to get listings in this crazy marketplace that we're in now. And as I mentioned earlier, now with the rule changes coming about in August, it's going to be way more difficult to work with buyers. Not for our guys, but for most agents, because Craig Proctor Nation, we understand what to say to buyers to get the buyer to pay us. But I'm going to repeat this again. Starting in August, before you work with a buyer, you have to get the buyer signed to a buyer agency agreement that specifies what you're going to get paid. So a lot of agents, they're not going to be able to do that. Last year, before the rule changes, 49% of the agents in the United States sold either one transaction or zero transactions. So they were failing when they were charging free. When they could say to the buyer, yeah, my services are free, they were selling zero or one houses. So imagine now saying to the buyer, oh, my services are $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 or more. So let's go over to listings because that's where the game is. It's always been the game, but it could be more important now. Now, understand when you list houses, starting in August, you will not be allowed to give the buyer broker any part of it. There's no commission sharing anymore. So that's another great thing about listings is you don't have to be bothered by that. You don't have to share your commission. You get to keep it all.
Mhm.
So Keller, I said, Keller, tell us the top 3 sources in your business for listings. So let's start with number 1, which you said was your sphere and referrals.
Yes. I mean, you've been in the business as long as I have, 34 years, and you've helped thousands and thousands of people and you treat them right. The referrals and the past clients, that's number one.
You don't just. I mean, you treat them well, and a lot of agents say, "Well, I treat them. I treat my clients well. I do a good job for them. You're a nice guy. You take care of them. They sense like, okay, here's a guy that really is looking out for me." But you
Yeah.
do other things to encourage referrals, like you're always marketing to your clients. For years after they buy or sell through you, you've got worthy cause referral marketing. Maybe you can talk
Yes.
about how that works and what you do to market constantly to your present clients, anyone that you've sold a house to ever, how
Yeah.
they're always reminded as to why they should be referring business to you.
Yeah. And we plant that seed on day one when we're meeting with the buyers and the sellers as part of our benefits presentation. Some of the slides talk about your referrals. Uh, your referrals help families in our area because we donate a portion of every commission that we get to Greenwood Community Home Repair, which used to be Habitat for Humanity. And so from day one, we're planting the seeds that as you go through this process of buying a home or selling a home, please refer to us, anybody, and we in return will give back to our community. And then, after they close on the house, every month we are sending them a referral marketing newsletter. Giving them updates on the good that Greenwood Community Home Repair is doing in the area, and so we're dripping on them constantly about.
Yeah, and that's the important thing I wanted to
We
bring up.
give
It's not,
back,
it's,
please
yeah, it's
give us
not,
referrals, and
yeah, it's not like, oh, I do a good job and never talk to them again. You're in constant contact. You have a newsletter that goes out to all your clients, all your past clients. You get, for every referral you get, you give money to local charities. So there's a lot of things that you do that other agents don't do. Because other agents say, well, I'm a nice person. I do a good job. I really care about my clients. But how come I don't get a lot of referrals like Keller does? Because
right.
we have a referral marketing system.
Yes.
Now, of course, doing a good job and being a good person and them liking you is important, because I don't care what kind of referral system you have. If you don't do a good job and they don't like you, they're never coming back to you. They're never referring anybody. What we're talking about are additional things that you folks can do, like Keller does, to encourage this. And because he's been in the business for such a long time, this gains momentum, and he gets, the largest source of his listing side business is through referrals from clients, past clients, sphere of influence. Basically, everyone in Greenwood, South Carolina knows who this guy is. He could be the mayor of the city, I suppose, if you ever want to do that. But he makes more money than the mayor doing this, so he's probably not going to do that. Okay, number two source of getting listings. And by the way, if you guys drop your email address into the comments below, we're going to summarize all of this in a report that we'll send to you. Faith, actually, could you show everybody what we're going to send out? So everybody watching this, drop in your city, the state, where you're located. Okay, so we can send this out to you. Okay, how to get listings in this volatile market. It's pixeling a little bit there, but maybe are you able to kind of go through that, some of the pages there, Faith? Okay, so we're going to summarize in detail, show you guys examples of how we do this. And if you want this report, drop your email address into the comments below. And Faith here will, she'll email this report out to you. No strings attached. We're not going to call you or bother you. In fact, everything we do is in real estate is about getting buyers and sellers to come to us. Okay. And this is, what Keller's talking about here is 1,000% of his business is sellers and buyers seeking him out. There's no cold calling. There's no door knocking. There's no chasing. 100% of his business is calling him. So if you want that report right now, please drop your email address into the comments and we'll get that out to you. Okay. Number two source of listings for Keller Lawrence in Greenwood, South Carolina is Google local service ads. Talk about that.
Yeah, we a few years ago, the Stampinis that are another Your Home Sold Guaranteed.
Yeah, it was Kristen that set you up on that.
Yeah, Kristen and
Yeah.
Mark says you
Yeah.
guys need to get in this Google screened and pay, get Google screened, and where when people search and say real estate agents in Greenwood, South Carolina, you're going to be showing up, boom, right at the top of the page, and just set your budget right there for whatever, max it out, because those things are gold, and they are gold. They see, if they're searching for a real estate agent in, say, Greenwood, South Carolina, you pop up, boom, I'm going to check this guy out further. And then you got all these reviews. By the way, we were talking about reviews and referrals. Those are my currency. Reviews and referrals are my currency. The commission.
I love that. I love that mindset. Does everyone understand what Keller's saying? Because we talk about this. Imagine if money wasn't your currency. So when you sell real estate, you get a commission check, you get money. But imagine if you just pretended the money wasn't the currency, but the 5-star reviews was the real currency. If we focused on that, we'd have a much better business. And that's exactly what you do.
Yeah. And, you know, when these people call and say, hey, we want to come over and take a look at our house, I'll inevitably ask them, what made you call me? Well, I went into Google and saw you and saw all your reviews and read your reviews, and figured you're the guy to help us. So number two is Google local service ads
Yeah,
and
and there's no question.
Google.
Home sellers are making that decision on which agent they're going to use by going online. That search for a realtor starts online, where 5 or 10 years ago, it was more or less, you know, we're going to call a bunch of agents and we're going to interview them. And I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, but more so, the interviewing process, so to speak, is done online, where they already know who you are. They watch your video, they watch your social presence, they have a feel already for like who you are, what you do, what makes you different and better. So those phone calls are a lot easier, right? They're basically, you know, come over and have a look at our house, or even better, you know, just come and get me. Well, you know, we know who you are. We've heard of your reputation.
Yeah.
We see what you do online. So the presentation is really being done online instead of the kitchen table. Would everyone agree with that, that this is a big part of what's happening? So how many calls would you get like that every week, where someone's like, just calls in, yeah, I'm ready to sell my house, come and get me?
Like this year, I would say we probably get three or four.
3 or 4, and those are great. Those are, I mean, I remember those calls. I love those calls.
Yeah,
You know,
they're
some of them,
laydowns.
yeah,
For the
lay
most
downs,
part, they're
exactly. Just
laydowns.
yeah, show up and shut up and don't screw it up. But I remember, you know, you'd have some calls that'd be like, well, we're interviewing agents, or they would say, we'd like to speak to Craig about selling our house. But the best ones, of course, were we want to list our house with Craig. It's like, okay, this is, and you get to their house, and the surveys on the table and the tax bills on the table. These guys are ready to rock and roll. So that's what we want, right? As
And by the
realtors.
way, Craig, there's there's no squabbling over the commission much with those people either.
No, no, they're
There's no beating
pre-sold.
you down on hey, will you do it
Well,
for
it's like the opposite, really. And for all those of you watching this and experience this, you know what we're talking about. Where when you get to their home, they're going on and on about you. Oh, Keller, we see you everywhere. You sold all the houses on our street. Like they're, you know, they're doing all the selling of you, right? So I just let them talk. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, bring it on. Yeah, we see you everywhere. We see your billboards. We see that stuff. So, yeah, those guys are paying the full commission. They're not negotiating. In fact, um, towards the end of my career, when I wasn't going out on the appointments anymore and I was giving the listing appointments and the buyer appointments to my team, the odd time I would go out and the seller would be like, oh my God, I can't believe like you actually came yourself. It's like, okay, yeah, they're paying the full commission, right? They're just so happy that I'm here. This is all manufactured. This is what I want everyone to understand. It wasn't like myself or Keller. We started off just like all you guys. Nobody knew who we were. We didn't have any confidence. We didn't have any money. We never sold anything in our life, right? So all of this fame in our marketplace was manufactured on purpose using these strategies to get buyers and sellers calling you. Okay. So with everything we're talking about, whether it's sphere referrals, Google local services ads, and what we're going to talk about next is cash offer leads. All of this is about you making an offer to your local market, to your world, and getting buyers and sellers calling you saying, I'm ready, come and get me. They are pre-sold on the strength of your marketing. Okay, let's go to the next one then, cash offer leads.
Mhm.
So how's that work? I mean, that's what every seller wants, is a cash offer.
Right. So we send out postcards and run ads for get multiple cash offers on your home in minutes. And we also buy cash offer leads from a third party company, and they're looking for, you know, I think Todd has been telling us over the last, maybe the last year, that 40 something percent of the people that sold their homes didn't sold them to an investor, a cash offer
Yep,
company,
I don't know what the stats are
not to an
nationally.
individual. So people want certainty. And
Exactly. I don't know what the national stats are, but I know in the state of Texas last year, 28% of the homes sold outside of MLS.
Yeah.
right? So, so the point we're making here is today the big trend is convenience, right? That's what we want. So sellers are looking for a better way to get their house sold rather than the normal way. So let's remind everybody of the painful normal way. I assume all of you guys have moved. It's terrible. You know, even as real estate agents, we know it's terrible. Every time there's a showing, they got to get their dog and their kids and you know, sit around the corner in the rain and hope the showing comes, and the open houses and the Matterport tours, all the stuff, weeks and months of having their, or they could get an instant cash offer. Now, this is why the iBuyer companies over the last few years, Open Door, OfferPad, became so popular, even though the seller was accepting less money for their home. Because we have a lot of realtors that say, well, why would the seller want to do that? Well, we're not here to judge. The seller doesn't want to go through the hassle of selling their home, and they would be willing. I think it was something crazy. The last survey I saw nationally is 60% of home sellers within reason said they would take less money to get an instant cash offer than go through weeks and months of the normal home selling process. And
Yeah.
I guess the best analogy I could like, here's an analogy, is how many of us like order Uber Eats or skip the dishes, and you end up paying $20 for an $8 sub, right?
Yeah.
When Subway is 5 minutes around the corner, it's convenient. So
Yeah.
a lot of people
Yeah, you
think, well,
trade in your car to
yeah,
get the next car, rather than just, putting it out on the open market. You're taking less, but it's convenient and easy. You said,
great
here's
example.
the car,
Yep.
here's my new, and I'll take the new one.
Yeah, great example. Every time we trade in a car, you could sell your car, you know, privately on Auto Trader, but most of us don't do that, right? We just drive it into the dealership. Now we know the dealership's going to beat us up for $5,000 or $10,000 off market value, but we, you know, looks like they got to make a profit. So convenience. We drive the old car in, we drive the new car out. Smells great, steering's nice and tight. We're happy, right? Even though we just probably left 5 or 10 grand on the table. And the second we drive it off the lot, we lost another 20 grand.
Yeah.
But we do that. So people don't sell homes that often. So they're looking for convenience. So this is a game changer. What Keller's been doing for as long as he's been with me, he's been offering a guaranteed sales program. Okay. So we will give the seller an upfront written guarantee of exactly what we'll sell their home for if we don't get it sold within 120 days. But we market it to the open market. And if we sell it to a buyer for a higher price than what we promised the seller always gets the highest price, whether it's our upfront guarantee offer in writing or a superior offer from an outside buyer. Let me repeat this. The seller always gets the highest price, but by giving them a guarantee, the person that owns a home now has the confidence to go out and buy another house.
Mm-hmm.
And today, a lot of, you know, buyers are concerned about, it's like they want to buy, but until they find a house, they don't want to get their home up for sale, because if I buy a home and I can't get my home sold in time, I'm going to get stuck with 2 homes. So this solution is really what took me from a nobody to the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world within 3 years. So what did I do? I started sharing this with other agents. Here's how I did it. And as Keller said, he's been with me for 20 years. So guaranteed sale program, we give them an upfront written guarantee. But with the guaranteed sale program, they still had to put their home on the market, okay, for 120 days. With the cash offer, we just sell it. Okay, so there's no putting your home on the market. There's no repairs. You don't have any hassle at all. And basically how that would work is, if you're the home seller, you see Keller's ads all over Greenwood, South Carolina, in that greater area, and you see guaranteed cash offer on your home or instant cash offer. So you call and you say, how does that work? Keller or one of his agents will show up with a laptop, say, here's the upfront cash offers we have. Which one do you want?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
pretty
we got
compelling.
access to to one of the people in our company here, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. There's a platform with over 65 nationwide cash buyers, and you just plug the home in, and instantly, boom, you get 3 or 4 offers of
What great demonstration. Does everyone hear that? So we're advertising instant cash offer. all over Greenwood, South Carolina. Sellers are like, well, how does that work? What would you buy my home for? And Keller's like, well, we need to meet with you. We need to look at it. He shows up with a laptop, types in their address, and boom, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 offers come up. And you get to say to the seller, which one do you want?
Yeah. And then if they say, I don't want any of those, then you can say, well, what do you want for your house? Well, I want X. Okay. If we can get you X, and cover our fee, would you be okay with us handling the sale? Yes. Sign here. So you use unacceptable offers to get an acceptable
Right.
offer.
Right. So either they accept one of the instant cash offers or you're walking out with the listing anyway.
Mhm.
But either way, you're getting paid your commission and the house is getting sold.
Mhm.
Okay, guys, let us know what you think of these strategies. We're talking about, if you joined us late, we're talking about how the game has changed in real estate. These rules, the new rules in the US, take effect in August. You cannot show a buyer a house unless you have them sign to a buyer agency agreement that specifies clearly what your commission is. The buyer is responsible for your commission. Now, we show Craig Proctor Nation members, we show you how to get the seller to pay it anyway. But for most of you, you don't know how to do that, right? So, what are you going to do in August when the commission box in MLS disappears? It's like, okay, well, how am I going to get paid? Well, now the rules are before you show the buyer a house, open houses, by the way, are exempt. So if you do an open house, someone comes through, they don't have to sign anything. However, if they want to buy the house, then they got to sign it. If they walk through your open house and they don't like it, which is 99% of the time, before you show that buyer a home, any home, you need to get them signed to a buyer agency agreement. So why are we talking about listings today? Because you want to get listings now. How many of you would agree? Let me know in the comments. How many of you would agree working with buyers is going to get infinitely harder for most of you, right? So listings have always been the name of the game. They're now even more the name of the game. And whatever commission you negotiate with the seller, you get to keep it all. It's illegal for you to share the commission with the buyer broker. Can't do it anymore. So if you negotiate 4% or 5% or 6% or 7%, you get it. In fact, I'm going to argue, Keller, that maybe listing agents are going to get a pay raise, right? Maybe we're going to get a pay raise because we're going to be doing more work. A lot of buyers will refuse to pay an agent and come directly to the listing agent, so we deserve more. So then our conversation was about, Keller, give me your top 3 sources of listings. Okay, I'll repeat it again. And this is in this report. I've got it printed here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you drop your email address in, it's, I don't know, like a 20-page report, summarizes all this. We're giving it away. No strings attached. Why would you do that? Because we want to help you. Why do we want to help you? Because I want to prove to you that my stuff works. Crazy part about real estate coaching, Keller, is a lot of these big names, when you do a bit of research, you quickly find out these gurus have never actually sold real estate. It's amazing. And
Yeah.
I'm not talking
By
big
the way,
name
that's
coaches.
why I latched on to you 20 years ago. I said, this guy's doing it and has proven that it works. And he's showing us how to do it. I'm like, I want to go to that conference. I want to see what that's all about. And then when I went, I mean, within an hour, I'm like, where do I go? How do I sign up? You know what? I want to know more. And I just came back and just was all in.
Well, I
And
got to tell you, man,
still
that's got
am all in after all
you.
these.
You are, and you did such a great job. And we have a whole bunch of Keller Lawrence members that have been with Craig Proctor, been with me for 20, 25 years. And let's talk about how important that network is. I mean, at this point, Keller and the members, they're not just getting together for myself and Todd, they're getting together to see each other. You become best friends with them. You're sharing ideas and information every day, 365 days a year.
Any issue I have or any thought I have, I can pick up the phone and call or text or email, the fellow members
That's
and
kind of nice, isn't
friends.
it? Being able to talk to people that get it, that whatever problem you've got, there's someone in our group that's had that problem before. They've dealt with that. And then reciprocity, you share with them all your experiences.
Mhm.
You know, it's really a priceless network of, you know, long time, not just peers, but really best friends.
Mhm.
What's your how many transactions you think you'll do here in 2024?
2024, we are down like everybody else.
Yeah, been a tough year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think you're
I
going to
would
be?
say
What do you think you're
that
down over this year, this time over last year? Like what percentage
I
wise?
would say we'd be lucky to do 150
Yeah,
deals this year.
yeah. Which is a lot of people like, oh my God, 150, and that's down. Okay, so let's say 2 years ago, it was probably a great year, right? 2021, 22. How many transactions did you do then?
During the peak of COVID,
Yeah.
we were at 324 transactions,
Okay.
I think is.
Peak of COVID, money was running down the street. Interest rates were zero. They're mailing everybody checks, 300 transactions. Let's bring back the low interest rates. And,
Yeah,
you know, we know what's going to happen. The rates will come down probably towards the end of the year after the election. And when the rates go down, can anyone guess what's going to happen with home prices? Going to go back up again, right? And there'll be more demand. So yeah, it's a tough year. Even, you know, my top people are down. Everybody's down across the board, but still doing 150 plus transactions. That's pretty good. You know, we don't have to you know, hold a collection or anything, a GoFundMe page for you or anything like that. So you're doing great now. For agents in South Carolina that want to find out more about joining up with you, partnering up with you, and that's not even the right word. How about this? For agents in South Carolina that would like to get a steady stream of listing appointments without advertising, without cold calling, without door knocking, without doing all the things you don't like, then you should have a conversation with Keller about how that happens. Now, he's not going to hire anybody because he's paying good money for these leads. A lot of them are referrals and stuff. So there would be like an interview process. And here's what's different. Keller would only decide to partner up with you if he really believed this was going to work, right? Because otherwise,
absolutely.
it'd be a total waste of his money and his time. Because not only does he spend all the money on the marketing to give you listing appointments, he also spends an enormous amount of time coaching you and training. Why? Because the more money you make, the more he makes. So
Absolutely.
unlike other brokerages that'll hire you because you can fog a mirror, that's not what we're looking for. So who would you be looking for? Like who would be, and you don't have to be a superstar, but you have to, like in all your years of hiring and partnering up with agents, describe to me who a good fit would be.
Well, somebody has some serious drive and motivation and ambition.
Okay,
And
so we just eliminated 80% of realtors right there. So now we're left with the 20% of you because you have to have ambition and drive. Okay.
yes.
What else?
Um,
I would say coachable. They got to be coachable.
oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like they
Yeah.
could have drive and ambition, but they could be a know-it-all. And it's like, well, you know, everything you want to do in real estate, Keller's doing it because he got it from me and I was doing it and I taught it to him and he teaches it to you. That's how this works. So first of all, Keller's hung with me for 20 years. So I've taught Keller over 20 years, everything I know about selling real estate and making money and making this thing work. And then you partner up with Keller and for $0, he transfers what's in his brain to your brain and he gives you listing appointments. So we're looking for people that are ambitious, right? Please don't call him if you're like, well, I'm selling 5 homes a year and I want to sell 10. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking
Right.
somebody that wants to do 30, 40, 50 transactions a year.
And
And you get to keep,
no part-timers
oh
either. I
God,
mean,
no
people that are
part-timers.
full-time
Yep.
that just want to go out and crush it.
Yeah, full-time. And you're looking for a mentor. You want money coming down the pipeline, you want listing appointments, and you want a mentor. Well, Keller's your guy. Okay. So he's going to coach you and train you for how long? Forever. As long as you're with his company, he's going to coach you, train you. He's going to make sure that when you show up at that listing appointment, that you're not going to blow it. Okay, that you're going to walk out with the right price, the right commission rate for the right length of time. And he's going to work with you to make that happen. Now, if that doesn't happen, you can't be there. Okay. Because he can't be giving you listing appointments and spending a lot of time with you if after a few months you're not getting it. So, you know, if this isn't working for you, I promise you it's not working for Keller as well. Now, how can realtors in South Carolina, how can they contact you? How should they contact you if they want to have a conversation more about how this would work?
Call me on my cell phone or text me on my cell phone, 864-941-2239.
Okay, repeat that again, that cell number, and you can call or text Keller. He's giving you his personal cell number. And Faith, can you type this Keller's phone number into the comments as well? Okay, so
Again, it's 864-941-2239.
perfect. What's better than that? He will pick up the phone. He will talk to you. You'll answer questions. And maybe your question is this real? Are you Craig's brother-in-law? Did this really work? You really paid Craig Proctor for 20 years? You're saying this is a down market and you're still going to do 150 transactions, but during COVID you did 300 transactions. Yeah, this is normal. Now, Keller, this is how his paradigm shift. He's not happy about 150 transactions. He's kind of pissed about this, right? It's like, man, I was doing 300, now I'm doing 150, but the market will come back, and we predict 50% of the realtors will be gone with these rule changes. 50% will be gone. Think about these stats. 49% of the realtors in the United States last year did 1 transaction or 0 transactions. That's when they could say to buyers, my services are free. Doesn't cost you anything. I do this for you and this for you and this for you, and all my services are free. They could only sell 0 or 1 houses when they could give their service away. Now, with the rule changes coming in August, here's what you got to say to the buyer. Hey, Keller, look, if you want to work with me, it's going to cost you 30 grand, sign here. Totally different conversation, right? So for those of you that want to get coached up on how this all works, I'm going to give you my contact information. Okay. I'm going to give you a place where you can go book a call with my team and we will do a Zoom call with you for $0. If Faith, if you could type into the comments, proctorcall.com. So my name, proctorcall.com, no space, proctorcall.com is a clickable link. When you click that link, proctorcall.com, you're going to go to my Acuity Day Timer. Now, please do not take up one of my spots. If you're a looky-loo, if you're not serious about your business, if you work part-time at Home Depot, please do not do that. If you're a serious realtor and you're inspired by this, okay, and you either want to partner up with Keller or you want to be the Keller Lawrence in your marketplace, please book a call with me. Nothing will be sold on the call, by the way. What we're going to do is have a conversation about where you are in your business and what you want to do. Fair? So you say, well, I don't know, I do 20 transactions a year and I want to do 40. Now be prepared. Here's what we're going to ask you. Okay, cool. You're doing 20, you want to do 40. Why are you already not doing 40? And you're going to proceed to tell us why you're not reaching your goal. Now, you might be already doing 40 and you want to do 80 or whatever, but you get the example is you have a goal that's bigger than what you're doing. And our question is going to be, well, why are you not already doing 100 or 200 or why are you not doing that already? You will proceed to tell us these limiting beliefs. Well, my marketplace is different. That's a big one, right? Keller, we hear that. My market, you don't understand. My marketplace is different. The people here are different. No, they're not. Keller, you have met Craig Proctor Nation members from every corner of the United States, every state in the US, every province in Canada. We have millionaire agents. I have created more millionaire realtors in the US and Canada in all these different cities than any other fake coach. Okay. Any of these pretenders that haven't sold real estate. I have sold over 10,000 homes. Many of you know my story. Within 3 years of having my real estate license, I was the #1 RE/MAX agent, not just in the country, in the world for commissions earned. So what have I been doing for the last 25 years? Telling everybody how I did it, right? So I told Keller, and Keller's like, well, I like this. Now, Keller's been following me for 20 years. How would you like to be hanging out with a whole bunch of us that have been making millions of dollars for 20, 25 years, and you've got this network, and understand that everything you want to do in real estate's already been done by all these guys. So you have an issue, you have a problem. and you say to Keller, hey, here's my issue. And Keller's like, yeah, I used to think that way, or I had that issue, and here's the answer to it. It's that easy. We have to understand that there are realtors out there that are doing much better than us. And it's not that you're not working hard. You probably are. But here's a little bit of a paradigm shift. Just because you're good at what you do doesn't mean you're going to get to where you want to go. Being good at what you do may, in fact, be the problem. The opportunity is what you don't know. You're good at what you know. And you probably might be able to get a little better at what you know. But getting a little better at what you're currently doing will only get you an incremental gain. It's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about an exponential gain. I wrote a book with Todd Walters in 2015. You remember the book? I don't know. You were in that book? We had members write a chapter of the book. I don't know if you're one of the.
I was not in that book.
Okay, the book, I think it was 2015, 2016. It was called The Death of the Traditional Real Estate Agent and the Rise of the Super Profitable Sales Team. And we talked about the future of real estate is either you're going to start your own super successful business team like Keller has, or you're going to be part of someone else's super successful team. We're offering you both here today. If you're like, well, I really don't want to have my own brokerage and my own team, I should just join up. I should just partner up with Keller. Or I'm not in South Carolina. I'm in New Mexico. I'm in Arizona. I'm somewhere else in the country. And I'm inspired by this. I'd like to know how to do what Keller did. I'd like to know the pathway. Then you're going to book your call with me at proctorcall.com. What I'm saying is sort of the middle of real estate is being gutted. Right? The middle of real estate, the people that are doing 5 or 10 transactions, that's sort of being gutted with these rule changes. And we understand who's going to be leaving the business, right? It's not the agents at the top. They're not going to be leaving the business with these rule changes in August. It's all the people at the bottom that are struggling, which is, I hate to say this, but it's, survival of the strongest here, right? The strong are going to survive, which is a good thing. So superstars like Keller Lawrence will just increase market share.
Yeah.
Half the agents in your marketplace will be gone, and you'll just sell twice as many homes, which
That would be nice. I'll take that.
Yeah. So that's the way things are going. You can get the book on Amazon, by the way, Death of the Traditional Real Estate Agent, Rise of the Super Profitable Sales Team. Keller, any final thoughts before we wrap up this awesome interview?
No, other than just thank you for mentoring me and teaching me and continuing to teach me and innovate and create the best way to sell, more homes and help more families with less work. And thanks for all the years, and looking forward to hopefully many more with you.
And I must say, it's been a great pleasure building friendships with you and our members, and really having a good time and enjoying it. And I want to remind everybody that it's the journey that we're on that's important. Everybody looks at the end goal, but Keller, we've had a lot of fun over the last 20 plus years working together and getting to know each other and becoming friends, you and I and Todd and all of our members. It's been really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And real estate is still a great occupation. I remember, you probably remember Dave Liniger, the founder of RE/MAX, spoke at one of our conferences. Yeah. And, Dave said, this is his later years in RE/MAX. He was a keynote speaker at one of our conferences. And he said,
I remember distinctly. I was there.
Yep. He says, he said, I want to remind everybody how fortunate we are to be in the real estate industry. He says, this isn't like, we're not selling people something they don't want. We're not selling them, funeral plots. We're not selling them life insurance. We're selling them a house. We're selling them their dream. And so I want to remind everybody, this is a great occupation. We can make millions and millions of dollars, at least hundreds of thousands of dollars, which I don't know, that wasn't possible for me. I dropped out of college. I dropped out of university. Things were not looking good for Craig Proctor. When I got my license, I was living in the basement of my parents' house. And they're like, yeah, you go get a job. So failure wasn't an option. So I was really glad that I found something I loved. And for all of you out there, like Keller and myself, that are passionate about this, we want to thank you so much for watching this interview. And we'd love to hear from you. Please let us know your comments below, what you liked or what you didn't like. Go ahead and contact Keller. We've dropped his cell phone into the comments. And if you'd like to book a call with me, cost you $0. We do it over Zoom. It's just a conversation. That's all. If you don't like it, you just hang up at any time. But, you know, in life, sometimes you wonder, well, what if? You know, don't be skeptical. Don't let skepticism or whatever get in your mind. Check it out and fully investigate this. And if it's not for you, then you can say, well, I checked it out and it wasn't for me. But, you know, you should really, if you're still watching us here, that means you're into this. So we hope to hear from you. Keller Lawrence, we'll get you back here again. Let's get back up to 300 plus transactions here in 2025. And thank you so much for doing this. Remember, everyone, you can drop your email address in to get the report that summarizes what we talked about here today on getting listings. So, Keller.
Thanks, Craig. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man, for doing this. And we'll talk to you real soon.
Sounds good. Bye.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. This is Craig Proctor, and you've been watching the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're going to see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's going to let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.